Hope everybody enjoyed the bye week. No.
Hey, what did the bye week afford you time to do? Maybe like self scouting, like looking back. How do you spend that in terms of preparing for the second half?
Definitely a chance to self scout, see where we're at in terms of tendencies. Try to break those tendencies as you move forward. But more importantly, it's just a review. It's a chance to do a report card on the fundamentals, where we at fundamentally as we move into November, because that's the main thing that's going to drive the engine as we go forward. So, whether it's tackling, block destruction, our pass defense, our leverage and coverage. So a lot of stuff to be able to review that, be able to give the guys good feedback where we're at in terms of what we're doing well, what we're doing poorly, what we need to take out. That's one thing that we do as coaches. So that's the main emphasis there. And then obviously a chance to reset. Everybody gets a little break. If you can break away from football during football season, it's tough for all of us, players and coaches included. But it's a chance to reset and spend some time with family.
Obviously, it's a completely different season, but a lot of their offense is still in place. Is there anything that you can take from last year, looking at that film, that you can really take and apply to this game?
Absolutely. The main thing that stands out, the continuity they have when Tua's in there at the quarterback position. The ball gets out so fast. He's a quick decision maker in terms of the passing game. But like I've told you before, like when I see these younger quarterbacks develop, it's the decisions they make in the run game that impresses me the most. Going back to when I first got in the league, I was always impressed with the elite quarterbacks that we were facing, whether, in practice with Brady, seeing Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. It's the decisions they make in the run game that are some of the stuff that people that get overlooked, and you can see that he's doing a good job with that. And so we got obviously you take some stuff from the game and try to apply it. Then you try to take away some things schematically, see if it's still applicable for us this year. But the main thing is to be able to go down there to South Florida and play a certain way. Make it look and sound the right way. Have a to-do list in terms of how we have to play the game and making sure that we're clear with the players and the coaches, from my standpoint as the coordinator, of what I deem we need to do to win the game.
Talking about it looking a certain way, but just how fast they are as a team, do you think physicality is going to be a huge emphasis for you?
One, you got to be able to you got to find a way to match up with their speed, whether it's staying on top or you can run with them. You got to figure out a way. It's true speed out there on the field at a number of positions. And then physicality, one thing Flo used to always say, we can't ever forget about the physicality of this game. I don't care how fast it looks, how much they try to make it, whether it's run and shoot, whether it's, whatever they want to call the different offenses. NFL football is a physical game, especially as you start to move into November and we're starting to ramp up to after Thanksgiving. You can't ever forget the physicality of the game.
Patrick, you're talking about the speed of the Dolphins, and obviously what jumps out is Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle's speed. What do you think of those guys, and also Jacorian's speed matching up with those guys? Is that kind of exciting for you to see yourself Sunday?
There's several guys we have on the defense that can run. Now, I'm not saying I want to line up and do a foot race with anybody from Miami. These guys can run. That's some people. I say true speed is true speed out there on the field, and it's not limited to those two players. So for us as a defensive staff, we got to figure out the best way to deploy the defense and try to keep this speed under control a little bit, and take away the space, staying on top, things of that nature. Jacorian, in terms of Jacorian, whether it's Jacorian, Jack, all our defensive backs. I mean, we got guys that can run too. So that's, it's going to be a fun game in terms of just being able to challenge yourself. I think that's the big thing for the players. It's a good challenge. It's a good challenge.
Patrick, we've seen Decamerion Richardson rotating in and out with some players. It feels like it's more about what he's doing rather than what others might be doing. What is that? What has he been doing to get kind of force your hand and get him on the field?
A lot of things we saw when we were looking at him, when we were scouting him during the draft process. The guys upstairs, Champ, Brandon, BY, they do a good job of giving us some feedback, spending time with those guys in the during the season, off season, whatever it is, and he's really diligent. He works really hard. I think his best attribute as a rookie, and the best rookies I've been around, they do a good job of listening and then correcting mistakes and getting that mistake, and just being done with it. That's one thing I've seen with him, whether it's his cover two drop, whether it's leverage and man-to-man. I'm not saying he's going to be perfect, but you can tell there's an intention there to, hey, I messed that up twice. I'm done with that, so I can move on, so I can improve. Coach, what else you got? And those guys, Ricky, Feeney, GA, they do a good job of coaching them up, and he works really hard. I'm really excited about that.
Christian's obviously been out for a while with injury, but he practiced against those guys a lot the last couple of years. Is there any way you can pick his brain and talk to him about what he's seen from them?
Absolutely. We're in the business of gathering information. So, Christian's, he's a smart football player. He picks up on tendencies well. So, absolutely, just getting information from him.
Excited about the Ivy League matchup head to head with McDaniel?
We're not going head to head. I mean, Mike is a really good coach, really smart man. I mean, I've admired his work on the field in terms of the players he's coached for a long time. I remember meeting him for the first time. When you meet him the first time, he really stood out to me. And then his football IQ and knowledge, you can see how he's able to, challenge the defense schematically, how he's built the team along with their personnel department. But Mike he has a vision of how he wants it to look. And the ability, he's a good teacher because he's able to convey that vision, make sure the guys understand it, and be able to see the number one offense last year. It came to fruition.
A big part of that offense is those in-breaking routes with just that timing, the anticipatory passing that Tua is able to do.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for something like that where the wide receiver may be attached at the hip when the ball comes out, but once it's there, then he's got right on that break at the route. Like, how's something prepare for that?
The first thing you got to talk about with their offense now, again, I get all the in-break. They run the ball now. You know what I mean? So, to me, it's beautifully designed because they're placing the hook defenders in a conflict. There's inside run. There's outside run. They're trying to draw those guys up to put them in the conflict. And Tua's able to hit them in the spot. So, to me, it's about the design of the offense. That's why I talked about the vision that Mike has. It's a beautiful thing to watch in terms of if you appreciate football. It's a hard thing to prepare for, but the timing of the passing game, because it's built off of how well they run the ball, they're putting the hook defenders, whether you're in 3 deep, 2 deep, 4, whatever, they're putting them in conflict. And all the good offenses in the league right now, the thing I see when I'm watching, during the bye week or when I'm studying tape, they're putting the hook defenders in conflict with the run-pass action, the run-pass RPO action. And to me, that's made it tougher than, again, it just made it tougher, and they do a good job of marrying the two up. All right? Thank you.